Have you ever felt like someone was inside your head, pulling your strings, making you doubt yourself, question your worth, or react when you didn't want to? Imagine two glowing neon figures, one shining with calm, quiet power, the other wild and red, trying to control the first one's glowing mind like a puppet master. This isn't just a picture, it's the battle happening inside many of us when we face people who try to play mind games. And the truth is, those people only win when we react. But here's the twist. When the calm, glowing one stands firm, silent and strong, the red figure starts to lose power, because the moment you stop giving them control, you take it back. This video will uncover the secret world of silent battles, mental strength, and how your peace can defeat even the loudest manipulator. Stick around till the end, because you're about to learn how to protect your mind, your heart, and your energy like a true, chosen one. We're not here to fight like them. We're here to rise above. And if you're someone who believes in becoming stronger, wiser, and more powerful in your energy, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to show some love, hit like if you feel this message, and join our powerful community of warriors who glow from within. Because here, you're never alone, and every time you come back, you grow a little stronger. Stay with us till the end, because the final truth will flip the power right back into your hand, where it belongs. Narcissists love to feel like they are in charge. They want to control how you think, feel, and even how you see yourself. It's like they play a game where they win only if you keep reacting to everything they do. They poke, push, and say hurtful things, not because they want the truth, but because they want to stay in control of your emotions. But here's the secret. You don't have to play their game. You don't have to argue, defend yourself, or explain your every move. In fact, when you stop reacting, something powerful happens. The narcissist starts to lose. Why? Because their control only works when you give them your energy. If you don't respond, they don't get the power they want. Let's break it down. Imagine someone keeps pressing buttons just to annoy you. At first, you get upset, you yell, or you cry. That reaction tells them, yes, this works. So they keep pressing those same buttons, but if you suddenly stay calm, show no reaction, and walk away, they'll get confused. They'll try again, harder. But if you stay strong and still don't react, they lose interest. Their game isn't fun anymore. This is called emotional detachment. It doesn't mean you don't care about yourself. It means you care enough to protect your peace. It means not letting someone else decide how you feel. You stay calm, you stay quiet, and that silence becomes your strength. Even if they try harder to get a reaction, hold your ground. Narcissists hate silence because it shows you're no longer under their spell. You are becoming free. So take your power back. Don't let anyone pull you like a puppet on strings. Your peace, your silence, and your calm heart are stronger than any angry words. Let them talk, let them try. You don't have to respond. You're in control now. And that's the one thing they can't stand. Stay still, stay wise, stay free. Narcissists love to repeat the same tricks. They act like they're always in control, but the truth is they follow a script full of mind games, guilt trips, and manipulation. If you know their script, you can flip it. And when you do, you take away their power without even raising your voice. Let's look at how this works. Narcissists often start with love bombing. They shower you with compliments, attention, or promises to make you feel special. But it's not real. It's a trap to make you depend on them. Once you're hooked, they flip the switch. Suddenly they criticize you, ignore you, or make you feel like you're the problem. Then comes gaslighting. They twist facts, deny what really happened, or make you doubt your own memory. You'll hear things like, "You're overreacting," or "I never said that." Their goal? To confuse you so much that you stop trusting yourself and start believing them. Another favorite trick? Blameshifting. No matter what goes wrong, it's somehow your fault. They never take responsibility. If they lie, it's because you made them feel unsafe. If they yell, it's because you provoked them. But now, here's the shift. When you know these tactics, you can stop playing along. You don't react the way they expect. You become unpredictable. That's what shakes them. Instead of getting angry during gaslighting, stay calm and say, I remember what happened, and I trust myself. Instead of defending yourself during blame shifting, respond with silence, or simply say, that's your opinion, and move on. When they love bomb you after treating you badly, don't fall for it. Notice the pattern and keep your distance. Strategic pauses are powerful. Don't rush to explain. Don't rush to argue. When you pause, breathe, and respond slowly, they lose control, because now they don't know what you'll say next. And a narcissist without control feels powerless. So study their script, see the pattern, flip it with calm words and strong silence. You're not the puppet anymore. You're the one holding the pen, rewriting the story your way. Narcissists are fueled by one thing more than anything else: attention. They crave it like oxygen. Whether it's praise, anger, tears, or confusion, any emotional response from you becomes food for their ego. That's how they survive. That's how they stay in control. So what happens when you stop feeding them? What happens when you become emotionally still and detached? They begin to crumble, because without your reactions, they lose their grip on you. One of the most powerful ways to deal with a narcissist is to use something called the grey rock method. And this method is simple, yet incredibly effective. Imagine a grey rock lying on the ground. It doesn't shine, it doesn't move, it doesn't react, it's just there. When you become like that grey rock, the narcissist begins to lose interest in you. Why? Because they thrive on drama, attention, and control. When you give them nothing to work with, no reaction, no arguments, no emotion, you take away the very fuel that powers their behavior. Narcissists are experts at pushing buttons. They know what words to say, what faces to make, and what tone to use to get you to explode or break down. But when you use the grey rock method, you become neutral. You don't feed into their tricks. If they yell, you respond with calmness. If they insult you, you give no reaction. If they try to guilt you or flatter you, you stay flat and unbothered. This doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're in control. It's a quiet strength that speaks louder than any words. As a chosen one, your power lies in your ability to rise above the emotional chaos. You weren't made to be controlled, you were made to lead. And one of the ways to lead your own life is by refusing to be dragged into games meant to break you. When you stop giving attention to toxic people, you protect your energy, you protect your peace, you starve their need to dominate your thoughts and emotions. Using the grey rock method doesn't mean you're cold-hearted, it means you're smart. You recognize that not every battle is worth fighting, especially when the other person is only trying to pull you down. When you remain silent in the face of manipulation, when you keep your tone neutral and your face calm, the narcissist feels powerless. They begin to look elsewhere because your peace no longer feeds their drama. This is how you win, not with loud fights or endless explanations, but with stillness, clarity, and silence. You become untouchable, not because you're distant, but because you've chosen not to let your light be dimmed by someone else's darkness. So the next time they try to get a rise out of you, remember this: they feed off your reaction, but you're not on the menu anymore. Narcissists see themselves as clever, superior, and always in control. They believe they can say or do whatever they want without being challenged. They twist reality, blame others, and play the victim, all while pretending they're the ones who are right. But what if you held up a mirror? What if, instead of reacting emotionally or trying to explain yourself, you simply reflected their own behavior back at them? That's when the panic begins. This tactic is powerful because narcissists hate being exposed. They're used to being the one who sets the rules while everyone else plays along. But when you mirror their tactics calmly and strategically, you force them to see themselves, and they don't like what they see. Let's say a narcissist tries to gaslight you by saying, "You're too sensitive, that never happened." Instead of defending yourself or getting emotional, you reflect. "It sounds like you're upset that I remember things clearly." Now you're turning the spotlight back on them without raising your voice. You're not fighting, you're simply showing them the contradiction in their words. Or maybe they give you the silent treatment to punish you. You can mirror it by staying quiet too, not begging for their attention. When they see that their games don't affect you, they feel powerless. Narcissists aren't used to people matching their energy. They're used to people chasing them, proving themselves, or trying to fix things. When you mirror their coldness with calm detachment, you send a clear message: you don't control me. Another way to mirror them is to repeat their own words back in a neutral tone. If they say something like, "I don't think you're capable of handling this," you can say, "Interesting," coming from someone who avoids responsibility. No yelling, no drama, just holding up the mirror. This tactic works because narcissists live in denial. They count on you being confused or too emotional to see the truth. But when you reflect their behavior, their mask starts to crack. They realize they're being seen, and that shakes their confidence. As a chosen one, your strength isn't just in your heart, it's in your mind. You see through the games. You've learned to stay grounded, and now you're turning the tables. Mirroring isn't about revenge, it's about clarity. It's about showing them without fear that their tactics don't work anymore. And when they finally look into that mirror and see themselves for what they really are, they panic because you've exposed what they've tried so hard to hide. Narcissists test limits, and that's their game. They push, they poke, they press, all to see how far they can go. But the moment you draw a line and hold it with quiet strength, everything changes. That line becomes your shield, your sacred shield. And once a narcissist knows they can't cross it, their control begins to fade. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are gates that protect your peace. For the chosen ones, setting boundaries isn't just self-care, it's spiritual armor. It's how you protect your energy, your emotions, and your identity from being chipped away by manipulation and chaos. You were not born to be a doormat for toxic people. You were born to stand tall, speak truth, and shine your light. And that begins with saying no without guilt, and yes without pressure. So how do you do it? Start by getting clear about what is not okay. If someone constantly talks over you, disrespects your time, or dismisses your feelings, that's a boundary waiting to be named. You don't have to explain or justify it. You simply say, "I don't allow people to speak to me that way. If you continue to raise your voice, I'll step away from the conversation. I won't be available to discuss this until I'm treated with respect." You deliver these words calmly, no shouting, no long speeches, just direct, clear truth. At first, the narcissist will test you. They'll ignore your boundaries, they'll mock them, they'll try to guilt you and do anything to regain control. But here's the key: do not back down. If you cave once, they know you can be broken again. But when you stay firm, when you protect your boundary like it's sacred, because it is, you show them that your soul is no longer up for grabs. Chosen ones, your boundary isn't just a rule, it's a declaration. It says, "I know who I am, I know what I deserve, and I will not tolerate less." You don't owe explanations, you don't need permission. You are the guardian of your own spirit. And here's what's beautiful: when you set strong boundaries, you don't just stop the abuse, you end the cycle. You teach the narcissist that you're not the one to manipulate. You teach yourself that you are worthy of peace. So let your no be solid. Let your energy speak even louder than your words, because when a chosen one sets a boundary, it's not just a line, it's a shield of light. Narcissists hide behind a mask, one made of charm, confidence, and false humility. They wear it to win admiration, to control others, and to cover the deep insecurity they don't want anyone to see. But once you begin to calmly call out the behavior behind that mask, not with anger, but with clarity, you pull the curtain back. And what happens next? They spiral. Narcissists thrive in confusion. They rely on your self-doubt, your hesitation, and your fear of confrontation. But the moment you stop playing along and instead name what's really happening without emotional charge, you reclaim your power. You say things like, "That sounds like manipulation." You're not taking responsibility right now. What you're doing is called gaslighting. No shouting, no tears, just truth. This kind of direct language catches them off guard. They expect to fight because fights feed their ego. But when you come with calm confidence, like a mirror showing them their own reflection, they can't handle it. They stumble, get defensive, or try to flip the script. That's because you've touched the one thing they fear most, being seen for who they really are. You don't need to over-explain. You don't need to convince them. This isn't about changing the narcissist. It's about setting a standard for how you will be treated. And by calmly calling out their behavior, you draw a line that says, I see through you. I will not be manipulated. As a chosen one, your strength doesn't come from matching their energy. It comes from mastering your own. It's the steady tone of your voice, the firm truth in your words, and the peace in your presence that makes them lose control. They want chaos. You give them clarity. They want power over you. You become untouchable. And here's the truth. Narcissists aren't used to people calling out their mask. They're used to people walking on eggshells, questioning themselves, staying quiet to keep the peace. But you're no longer afraid of disrupting false peace. You're here for real healing, real growth, and real truth. So when you calmly name the lie, when you expose the tactic, when you stand in your light, the mask cracks. And in that moment, the narcissist sees their reflection, and it terrifies them. Narcissists may appear confident, bold, and untouchable, but it's all a performance. Underneath the charm, arrogance, and control is a fragile, wounded core built on deep insecurity, hidden shame, and a constant fear of being exposed. And here's the truth. When you understand what truly drives a narcissist, you no longer fear them. You see right through them. They wear masks to hide their emptiness. They create stories to escape their truth. But no matter how loud they talk or how strong they pretend to be, they're constantly running from the same shadows. Insecurity that whispers, you're not enough. Shame that tells them if anyone sees the real you, they'll leave. Fear of exposure that keeps them lashing out at anyone who gets too close to the truth. When you recognize these patterns, you stop taking their behavior personally. You start seeing their cruelty not as strength, but as a cry to stay in control. Their insults are a projection. Their gaslighting is fear. Their blame is a wall built to protect their fragile ego. As a chosen one, your gift is awareness. You don't need to attack their wounds. That only feeds the cycle. Instead, you use this knowledge with wisdom. You remain calm when they try to provoke you. You stop seeking their validation when they withhold affection. You don't chase their approval because you finally understand their behavior isn't about you. This knowledge becomes your shield. You no longer react. You respond. You no longer argue. You observe. And in doing so, you starve their need for power over you. Imagine a narcissist throwing their usual tactics your way, twisting your words, playing the victim, mocking your truth. But instead of getting drawn into their game, you remain grounded. You think to yourself, this is fear talking, this is shame acting out, and just like that, the spell is broken. The most dangerous person to a narcissist is someone who sees their soul and chooses not to feed it. That person becomes immune, that person becomes unshakable, and that person is you. So study their patterns, understand their wounds, not to harm, but to protect your peace. Because when you hold this kind of knowledge, you hold the power to walk away, stay grounded, and never be fooled again. That's how chosen ones rise, not by fighting louder, but by seeing deeper. Narcissists thrive when you're caught up in their drama, constantly defending yourself, reacting to their accusations, and trying to prove your worth. But here's a powerful truth. You don't have to play defense anymore. Instead, you can flip the script and take back control of your story by making it about you, your growth, your healing, and your purpose. When you center your life around the narcissist's chaos, you give their toxic energy the power to dictate your emotions and decisions. You become trapped in a cycle of reaction and exhaustion, losing sight of who you really are. But when you shift the focus back to yourself, everything changes. You stop reacting to their games and start responding with intention. This isn't about ignoring the narcissist or pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about reclaiming your power by putting your needs first. It's about choosing self-care over self-doubt, healing over hurt, and purpose over pain. You begin to ask yourself, what do I want? What makes me whole? What fuels my soul? By making it about you, you stop living in their shadow. You rebuild your identity on your own terms. Instead of constantly explaining or justifying your feelings, you focus on your growth, learning new skills, practicing mindfulness, setting healthy boundaries, and nurturing your mental and emotional well-being. When the narcissist throws their drama your way, you don't absorb it. You let it bounce off because you're too busy strengthening yourself. You realize that their chaos is their story, not yours. Your story is about healing wounds, pursuing dreams, and living authentically. This shift also changes how others see you. When you walk confidently in your purpose, free from the need to defend or explain, people respect your strength. You become a beacon of resilience and empowerment, showing others it's possible to break free from toxic cycles. So stop being the actor in their drama. Step into the lead role of your life. Flip the script by making it all about you, the chosen one who refuses to be defined by another's toxicity, but instead rises through self-love, clarity, and purpose. Remember, the best way to silence a narcissist's chaos is not with anger or defense, but with the quiet power of your own growth and light. Narcissists thrive on drama and emotional chaos. It's their playground. Their power comes from pulling you into their games, watching you react with anger, frustration, or confusion. But the moment you decide not to play, everything changes. When you stay calm, detached, and emotionally untouchable, you take away their fuel. Without your reaction, their games fall flat and they lose control. Staying emotionally untouchable doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means mastering your own emotions. It means choosing peace over panic, clarity over confusion, and strength over stress. The narcissist will try to escalate, raising their voice, throwing accusations, or twisting your words in key, but you remain poised like a calm lake that doesn't ripple no matter the storm above. One powerful technique is to practice deep, slow breathing when they try to provoke you. This simple act grounds you in the present moment and stops your fight or flight response from taking over. Another is to use mental distancing. Imagine yourself watching the scene as an outsider, detached from the chaos but fully aware. This gives you space to respond thoughtfully, not react impulsively. You can also prepare simple, neutral responses that don't feed their need for drama. Phrases like, "I see your point," or "let's discuss this later," signal that you're not engaging on their terms. These calm replies deny them the emotional highs they crave. Remember, narcissists want to unsettle you because it makes them feel powerful, but when you refuse to be shaken, you become untouchable. You show that their usual tactics no longer work on you. This frustration can make them back off or even reveal their true, vulnerable selves, something they desperately try to hide. Being emotionally untouchable is not about winning an argument. It's about winning your peace. It's about protecting your energy so you can live your life freely without being a puppet to someone else's toxic games. The chosen one understands this truth deeply. You don't have to react to every jab or drama. Your strength lies in your calmness, your clarity, and your refusal to be drawn into the chaos. When you outclass their games by staying emotionally untouchable, you don't just survive, you thrive. And the narcissist? They lose the power they thought they had all along. Narcissists live in a carefully crafted world of lies, illusions, and control. Their greatest fear is being exposed, having the truth about their manipulative behavior, lies, and abuse brought into the open where everyone can see it clearly. The light of public exposure threatens to shatter the perfect image they work so hard to maintain. And that's exactly why exposing them strategically can be one of the most powerful ways to protect yourself and take away their power. But exposing a narcissist isn't about gossiping or seeking revenge. It's a deliberate, thoughtful act done with a clear purpose to protect yourself and others and to break the cycle of abuse. The key is knowing when and how to expose their behavior. Timing is everything. You want to make sure you have clear evidence or examples of their behavior so your words carry weight. Emotional accusations without facts can backfire, making you appear less credible. Collect moments when the narcissist's tactics are undeniable, whether it's manipulation, gaslighting, lying, or bullying, and write them down. Documentation can be a powerful tool in making your case strong and believable. Next, consider who you expose them to. Trusted allies are crucial. Friends, family members, colleagues, or authorities who can offer support and validation. Sharing your experience with people who understand and believe you not only strengthens your own position, but also creates a network of protection. This can make the narcissist feel less invincible knowing their actions have witnesses. Sometimes exposure might mean speaking up to HR, a counselor, or even legal authorities if the situation demands it. These steps are about setting boundaries and ensuring your safety. The moment the narcissist realizes their mask is cracked and their secrets are no longer safe, they lose control. Their confidence falters and their manipulation weakens. Keep in mind, exposing a narcissist takes courage. It means standing firm in your truth even when they try to twist the story or retaliate, but the light you shine on their behavior is healing. Not just for you, but for everyone affected by their toxicity. Public exposure isn't about shaming, it's about reclaiming your power. The narcissist's worst fear is losing their carefully constructed illusion. When you break through that illusion with calm, clear truth, you force them to confront the reality they try to hide. And in that confrontation you win. Your self-worth is not something anyone else can give you, it's a power you already hold inside. Narcissists thrive on making you doubt yourself, constantly seeking to control and undermine your confidence so they can feel bigger. But as a chosen one, you have a different path. You don't need their approval or validation because you already are the standard. Understanding your true worth means recognizing that you are enough just as you are. You don't have to change, explain, or fight to prove your value. Toxic people try to convince you otherwise, but their words reflect their own issues, not your reality. Your self-worth is your shield. It protects you from their attacks and reminds you that you deserve respect, kindness, and honesty. When you fully reclaim your worth, you stop seeking permission from those who diminish you. Instead of chasing approval, you focus on your growth, your passions, and your well-being. You set boundaries not out of anger, but out of self-respect. You surround yourself with people who uplift you, not drain you. This superpower transforms how you see yourself and the world. It makes you confident in your decisions, resilient in the face of criticism, and calm when others try to pull you into their drama. Your worth becomes a light that shines so brightly, toxic people can't dim it, no matter how hard they try. Remember, validation from others is temporary and fragile. True self-worth is lasting and unshakable because it comes from within. It's the foundation for all your success, happiness, and peace. So stand tall, chosen one. Know your value. You don't need anyone's permission to be worthy, going because you already are the standard, and that is your ultimate superpower. Narcissists live for attention and emotional reactions. They thrive on drama, conflict, and chaos because these fuel their sense of power and control. What hurts them the most, however, is when you simply stop caring. When you disarm them with indifference, you take away their greatest weapon, your emotional energy. This may seem simple, but mastering the art of emotional detachment and using silence as a weapon can be one of the most powerful strategies you have against a narcissist. The moment you react emotionally, whether with anger, frustration, or hurt, the narcissist sees it as a win. Your reaction feeds their ego and gives them the control they crave. But when you respond with calm indifference, they are left empty and confused. This is because narcissists rely on others to validate their importance. Without your emotional fuel, their power diminishes. Emotional detachment doesn't mean being cold or uncaring. It means protecting your inner peace by not letting the narcissist's toxicity penetrate your mind and heart. Imagine it like a shield. Your calmness and silence block their attempts to provoke you. This emotional boundary stops the cycle of manipulation and keeps you safe. One of the most effective tools in this battle is silence. When a narcissist tries to bait you with insults, lies, or accusations, the instinct is often to defend yourself or retaliate. But silence sends a powerful message: you are not playing their game. By refusing to respond, you deny them the emotional reaction they need to feel powerful. Silence can feel uncomfortable at first because it goes against our natural desire to explain or justify ourselves. But remember, the narcissist doesn't want truth or understanding. They want drama. Your silence is like a mirror reflecting their emptiness back at them. It unsettles them and often makes them escalate, but if you remain calm and silent, their tactics lose effectiveness. Practicing emotional detachment takes time and self-awareness. It helps to remind yourself that the narcissist's words and actions say more about them than about you. Their need to provoke you is a sign of their own insecurity and emptiness. You can acknowledge their behavior without internalizing it. Another way to strengthen your indifference is to focus on your own life and well-being. When you invest energy in yourself, your goals, health, and happiness, the narcissist's chaos becomes less relevant. Your emotional distance grows naturally because your focus is on what truly matters to you. It's also useful to prepare simple, neutral responses for when you must interact with the narcissist. Phrases like, "That's your opinion," or "I'll think about it," show that you are not engaged emotionally. They communicate calm without giving the narcissist ammunition. Over time, disarming a narcissist with indifference changes the dynamic completely. They realize that their usual tricks don't work, and they lose the sense of control they once had. This can cause them to retreat or even reveal their vulnerabilities, which they desperately try to hide. Ultimately, the power of indifference is your freedom. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of reacting and recovering. It protects your mental and emotional health. It reminds the narcissist that you are not a source of their validation. Remember, the strongest weapon against a narcissist is not anger or confrontation. It's the quiet strength of not caring. By mastering emotional detachment and silence, you take back your power and show the narcissist that their games no longer affect you. You become untouchable, calm, and in control. And that is how you win. When the chosen one enters a room, something unspoken but powerful shifts in the atmosphere. The narcissist, who usually thrives by dominating conversations and drawing attention, suddenly feels smaller, less certain. This isn't because of loud words or dramatic confrontations. It's because energy doesn't lie, and true confidence shines through in ways that a narcissist cannot fake or overpower. Narcissists rely on others' reactions and attention to fuel their sense of superiority. They create noise, interrupt, and seek to control every interaction to maintain their status. But genuine inner confidence works differently. It doesn't need to shout or prove itself. It flows silently through your posture, your calm demeanor, and the way you carry yourself. This presence is magnetic and undeniable. Your posture speaks volumes before you even say a word. Standing tall with shoulders back and head held high signals strength and self-assurance. It's a non-verbal way of showing you respect yourself and expect others to do the same. When you hold yourself with dignity, narcissists find it difficult to challenge you because their usual tactics, intimidation, belittling, or boasting, lose their impact. Presence is about being fully in the moment, aware of yourself and your surroundings without needing to dominate. It's the ability to listen deeply, respond thoughtfully, and maintain calm regardless of the chaos a narcissist might try to create. This kind of energy is disarming because it shows you're not afraid or rattled. Confidence is also reflected in your voice, steady, clear, and calm. When you speak with conviction but without aggression, it commands respect. Narcissists often use volume or sarcasm to unsettle others, but when you stay composed, their attempts to rattle you fall flat. Your calm authority creates a space where they feel less powerful and more exposed. This silent dominance is a game changer because it doesn't require direct confrontation. Narcissists hate being overshadowed or ignored, and genuine confidence naturally draws attention away from their neediness. They may try harder to reclaim the spotlight, but when you maintain your presence, you control the energy of the room. And that is true power. Over time, this kind of energy can shift relationships and social dynamics. People naturally gravitate toward confidence and integrity, which diminishes the narcissist's influence. When you control the room with your energy, you set the tone for how others should behave around you. It's a subtle but undeniable way to put a narcissist in their place without ever raising your voice. In essence, the chosen one wins by being unshakably themselves. Your inner confidence, strong posture, and quiet presence send a clear message. You are not intimidated, you are not controlled, and you will not be overshadowed. The narcissist senses this immediately, and they shrink. When you master the art of controlling the room through your energy, you reclaim your power silently and effortlessly. No words needed, just the undeniable force of your presence. Narcissists are masters at making you feel guilty for things that aren't your fault. They use guilt as a weapon to control you, manipulate your emotions, and keep you trapped in their web. But as a chosen one, you have the power to refuse that guilt and rewrite the story they want you to believe. This is a game-changing step in taking back your emotional freedom and standing strong against manipulation. Guilt tripping often comes in subtle forms. A narcissist might say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me," or "If you really cared, you wouldn't do that." These words are designed to make you feel responsible for their feelings or actions, even though their emotions and choices are their own. Recognizing these tactics is the first step to breaking free. When you spot guilt tripping, the key is to pause and step back emotionally. Don't react impulsively or let the guilt take root inside you. Instead, ask yourself, is this guilt based on truth or is it a manipulation? Often, it's the latter. Narcissists twist reality to serve their needs, making you question your values and decisions. The next step is to emotionally disarm the guilt with truth and clarity. This means calmly stating your reality without blame or drama. For example, you might say, "I understand you feel hurt, but I am not responsible for your emotions." Or, "I'm doing what's best for me, and that's not something to feel guilty about." These statements break the cycle of manipulation because they refuse to accept false guilt. Rewriting the story also means reclaiming your narrative. Narcissists want you to see yourself through their distorted lens, as selfish, ungrateful, or uncaring. But you get to define who you are. Focus on your values, your boundaries, and the reasons behind your choices. When you affirm your truth, it becomes much harder for guilt to take hold. Remember, refusing guilt doesn't mean you don't care or that you ignore others' feelings. It means you don't accept responsibility for someone else's manipulation or emotional abuse. You protect your peace by keeping clear what is and isn't your burden to carry. Over time, as you refuse to be guilt-tripped, narcissists lose their grip. Their attempts to control you with shame and blame become less effective. You grow stronger, more confident, and less reactive. This shift is powerful. It shows that you are no longer a victim, but a chosen one who owns their story. In the end, refusing guilt and rewriting the story is about freedom. Freedom from manipulation, from self-doubt, and from toxic control. It's about choosing to live your truth with courage and clarity, no longer bound by the false narratives others try to impose. Stand firm in your truth, refuse to carry guilt that isn't yours, rewrite your story on your terms, and watch how the narcissist's power fades away. Your peace is sacred. Guard it like royalty. This isn't just a nice idea or a gentle reminder. It's a vital truth for anyone dealing with narcissists or toxic people who drain your energy and disturb your calm. Protecting your peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Your peace is your foundation, your power source, and your spiritual armor. Treat it as if it's gold, because in today's chaotic world, maintaining mental clarity and emotional balance is the strongest form of spiritual warfare you can wage. Narcissists thrive on chaos and conflict. They feed off drama and disruption, and their goal is to shake your foundation to keep you off balance. When your peace is disturbed, they gain control. That's why protecting your peace is the first and most important step in putting a narcissist in their place. Imagine your peace like a precious treasure chest. Every time you let a toxic influence in, you risk losing what's inside. But when you guard it fiercely, you build an unbreakable fortress around yourself. Self-care is the key to protecting your peace. This isn't just about occasional spa days or relaxing weekends. It's about daily rituals that nurture your mind, body, and soul. Simple practices like mindful breathing, meditation, journaling, or even taking a quiet walk can create space between you and the noise of negativity. These moments recharge you, helping you stay centered no matter what storms the narcissist tries to bring into your life. True victory over a narcissist doesn't come from revenge or retaliation. It comes from rising above their attempts to pull you down. Chosen ones understand this deeply. Real power is found not in fighting fire with fire, but in evolving beyond the toxicity. Your growth is their ultimate defeat. When you focus on your own transformation, you leave behind the cycle of pain, drama, and manipulation that narcissists thrive on. Narcissists try to control the narrative by keeping you stuck in conflict and emotional chaos. They want you to waste energy reacting to their insults, gaslighting, and blame games. But when you shift your focus inward toward healing, self-improvement, and purpose, you reclaim your power. This kind of justice doesn't come from tearing someone down. It comes from building yourself up so high that their efforts to hurt you no longer matter. Your peace becomes a shining beacon that cannot be dimmed by their toxic energy. As you grow stronger mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you become untouchable. The drama that once surrounded you loses its grip because your priorities are clearer and your boundaries firmer. Narcissists depend on chaos to feel powerful, but your steady growth starves them of that control. Your purpose is another powerful form of payback. When you dedicate yourself to meaningful goals, passions, or a mission greater than the narcissist's small world, you step into a new realm of strength. Narcissists live to dominate and belittle others, but your purpose-driven life shows them that you are focused on something far bigger, something they can never take away. The glow you develop through transformation is undeniable. It's a radiance that comes from confidence, self-love, and the deep satisfaction of knowing you are becoming the best version of yourself. This glow attracts positive people, opportunities, and experiences, further reinforcing your strength and resilience. Meanwhile, the narcissist's attempts to drag you down only highlight their own emptiness. Rising above means forgiving yourself and others, not to forget or excuse harm, but to free yourself from bitterness and resentment.